Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying these. This prompt is write about a history of whispers. There they were again, the whispers. It was as if they lived in the cracks of these old walls in my house. I should have expected it. After all, the house is 150 years old and situated right next to the graveyard for the church, which is built on the adjacent side, across from my place. I've lived here for 5 years now and just started hearing the whispers. At first I'd hear them in the room facing the graveyard. I'd put my face to the wall to listen. The whispering was so faint yet still audible with much concentration. I wasn't afraid. More curious, actually, and nothing untoward ever happened in the house. Me and the whispers seemed to coexist. Sometimes I could hear them clapping, which was interesting, as that happened after one of my sessions of reading my stories out loud. I write for a literary magazine, and I'd read the stories aloud just to hear them. I like storytelling. As of late, though, in the last 6 months, the whispers seemed like they wanted to tell their stories, and so the whispers got louder. I told the house, standing in the middle of my living room, that I would be glad to hear their stories. More clapping. And then began the litany of conversations in whispers, such that I started recording them so I could transcribe the stories word for word to be remembered correctly. The stories were all about the first owners who came from France to the New World to start a life without so much persecution. They were quite bohemian, even for those times, free thinkers and curious about all aspects of life. They said no one they knew had made it to heaven or hell that they knew of, and they weren't sure where they were to go from here. I told them how lucky for them that I happen to know how to move them on to the light and how much they will love where I take them. While they wanted to move on, they were all, 100 of them, very attached to the house and all the great memories of children, grandchildren, all those generations of people. And yet they were finally ready to leave. And so the ceremony began, only after insisting that I write all their stories for posterity. I was thrilled to say yes to that. It was a full moon night. They all gathered outside in that beautiful moonlight in a huge circle. I somehow was able to see them for some time now. I started drumming and called all the angels needed to bring them home into the circle. It was so beautiful and heartfelt. There were twinkling lights all over. I guess that was the work of the fairies. There were 50 or so angelics just waiting with open arms to receive them and assist in traveling to the light safely. The whispering ancestors said they'd kiss me if they could, and the next thing I knew, everyone was floating in a comet of light. Out of sight, into the dark sky, just gorgeous. I stood there for some time, taking in just what happened. I was missing them already. As I was starting to leave, I looked down and there was a huge pink pearl necklace. I could hear them whisper, "Thank you." The end. Thanks for listening. I hope you're enjoying these. Please subscribe and tell your friends.